Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Stargirl. This is going to be my review for episode 6 for this season, otherwise entitled The Justice Society. But of course, if you have not watched the episode, go away, just leave, because spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about everything in the episode, including the spoilers, so why would you keep watching if you've not watched the episode? Go do that, then come back. But if you have watched the episode and you are continuing on with the video, it would be awesome if you could let me know your various opinions on this episode in the comment section down below. What was your favourite part? What was your least favourite part? Just all your general thoughts and opinions, let me know in the comment section down below, as well as any theories you might have. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you enjoyed this episode of Stargirl, why not drop a like on the video to show support? Takes 2 seconds. But last episode was obviously the bringing together of the last 2 members of this first iteration, I guess you could say, of this new JSA. I'm sure we'll see new members come in the future, but this is pretty much the version we're going to have going forward for at least the majority of the season. So we saw Hourman and Dr. Midnight come in, and more saw the tragic backstory and just bringing up of Rick Tyler, aka the new Hourman, and the son of Rex Tyler, the original Hourman. But of course, we also saw the Injustice Society's plan to come together, with them getting the satellite dishes and everything like that, and also a big roadblock for Courtney, which plays out in this episode as well. Pat finds out that she took the JSA artifacts from the end of episode 3, so she's got some explaining to do. But we start off this episode with something I sort of wasn't expecting. We start off with like flashbacks for a bit for the past few episodes, but we start in present day at a football game, or no, not football game, a football or gridiron training with Artemis Croc, who they like made sure everyone saw at the last episode, but we'd seen her in previous episodes anyway. But we see her showing off her sporting ability and competitive nature, which I'm sure she inherited from her parents. But we do say that she's the only girl on the Blue Valley High team. I think she's the running back. It was either the quarterback or the running back. I'm not too sure. Don't really follow NFL or gridiron, so yeah. Now, I think football has a role in the next couple of episodes, like especially that football field. So I think we'll see that football field a decent amount over at least the next couple of episodes, or at least next episode after this one. But anyway, the fairly new coach, I think he's only been there for a bit, takes Artemis off, which doesn't please Artemis's parents, who of course are Larry Crusher Croc, who we met back in episode 1 or 2, who's the gym guy, and of course Paula Brooks, who was like the PE teacher, I think, or gym teacher at the school. We just know that she works at the school. But of course, Larry is Sportsmaster, and Paula is, of course, Tigress, 2 members of the ISA. Now, of course, because this coach isn't treating their daughter that well, they teach them a lesson, which we do see brings Icicle into the fold with them, and he actually places them on an Injustice Society mission for the episode, which brings in Sportsmaster and Tigress properly. So that was fairly cool. Now, we do have Courtney being confronted by Pat after the end of last episode, obviously. He just pretty much waited in the room for her to come back. Now, he does reference the Green Lantern battery again, saying it's dangerous, but only with its ring. So will we see that ring? Hopefully. We've had a decent amount of Green Lantern references over the past few episodes, so I think we're going to build up to something there, but I don't think they're just going to say, here's a new Green Lantern. I think we'll probably get it set up, and then it'll be next season's story maybe, but I think they're just going to keep it in everyone's mind that the Green Lantern battery is there. Now, Courtney does reveal the various kids at her school that have been given items from the JSA, as well as telling Pat that Solomon Grundy was actually responsible for Rex Tyler's death, which, of course, he was unaware of before. He just was, in line with the whole accident thing. Now, you can tell Pat feels, like, completely disrespected by Courtney's actions, which I think he has the right to be. Like, come on, I think everyone can side with Pat there. Courtney's been a bit gung-ho in regards to how she's been going about things, and also just not caring about Pat. It's like, as we hear later in the episode, in one ear, out the other, with a lot of Pat's recommendations and the words that he has of her. So he's been, she's been pretty disrespectful to him. But he does take the JSA items that are left over that haven't been given to people, except the Thunderbolt pen. He still isn't aware that Courtney took that. So that's sitting in Courtney's little pen holder, which I'm sure will come into play most likely later in the season. Now, we actually do have the birthday of Icicle's wife, or, his wife that passed away, and we get a couple of scenes with Icicle and his son Cameron, but the main thing of note in these bunch of scenes, which I think this might have been the main one, I guess mainly showing that Icicle has a human side, so you can, once again, I think we're sort of in that mind, sort of, well, that mold, if you want to call it, where we're looking at Icicle and we can understand what he's doing, but with these scenes, you get to see him and his son's relationship. But the main thing is that when Cameron blows out the candle from the cake that the waitress gives him at the bar or the little food place, when he blows out the candle, you can see his breath is a bit icy. So they're setting up him being Icicle Jr. Not too sure when that's going to play out. I'd guess fairly soon. Now, one bit I wasn't expecting to be so sort of emotional was Mike's science fair project bit of the episode. Like, I did laugh at Pat's reaction when Mike tells him he has known about it for 3 weeks and is just doing it on the morning of the actual fair, which I thought was funny. Now, Mike does ask that no one, come to the science fair in order to not embarrass him, because apparently no other parents will be there. But at the fair, everyone else's parents are there. So everyone's got their exhibits, all their parents are there saying how proud they are of them and everything like that. And I felt super bad for Mike. You could see he was sort of like, oh, well, what the hell? Like, he felt like you could tell he was sad. But Barbara the goat shows up at the last second, and I thought that was a nice moment, just them with the chocolate volcano, even them eating it afterwards. And honestly, it looked tasty. It looked like it was definitely going to probably make you go, I don't know, you'd get some sort of reaction to all that sugar, but it still looked fairly tasty. Now, we did have Courtney struggling to take back the mantles from the new JSA. They are, new people thanks to them, especially like Yolanda, just like this reinvigoration of her life. But then again, when she actually approaches them, they like straight up refuse. It's just not going to happen. It's just like, no, well, I'm so different now because of Wildcat. And in regards to Beth, she's like, well, I love Chuck, my best friend now. So you could argue that it's a bit like seriously, but like, at the same time, you can understand where those new JSA members are coming from. But along with all that stuff going on at school, we do have Pat confronting Rick about the hourglass after his conversation with Courtney, and just going over Rick with the responsibilities, with his powers and everything like that. But he also does show Rick Rex Tyler's notebook, which has like a false backstory and history to him apparently, which appears like it will be some type of code, which we'll see play out soon in this season, I guess. And even the equations, like the chemical equations and formulas, they can't even be figured out even by Dr. Midnight's goggles. They just don't resonate with anything. So I wonder what's happening there. This notebook, I guess, might be a bit of a mystery. But while that's going on with like figuring out the equation, the goggles actually point to a hacking going on at Empire Enterprises, and it's the Gambler. Of course, Empire Enterprises was the company with the satellite stuff. So this is pretty much the new JSA's first mission. They go, Stargirl and the new JSA show up to Empire Enterprises in their suits. If you remember early in the episode, Pat took them. So I'm guessing there were scenes, or at least a scene deleted to make the CW and DC Universe versions the same length. I'm guessing there was either a scene of Courtney taking the suits, or at least Pat opening his chest where he'd left them and finding out that Courtney hadn't taken the suits. Obviously, there was a scene where Pat comes home, asks Barbara, he's like, where's Courtney? It's like, oh, she's out with her friends. So Pat might have gone and checked the chest after that, noticed the suits were gone, and that's where it leads to him finding them later in the episode. I don't think it's essential for the episode, but it would have been nice to have there. But I'm sure it's something that some of you might have noticed, that Courtney just had the suits for the new JSA members. Now, we did have Gambler playing Timber by Kesha. I didn't expect the Gambler to be a Kesha fan, but he plays it over the top as he does his hacking. Now, there is just a lack of teamwork completely by the new JSA at this facility, and just sets them up for failure. Let's be completely honest. But we do actually find out that the Gambler actually isn't at the facility and is in his own home. I guess if you're a really good hacker, you don't need to be there. You just need someone to plan something, and that's what Sportsmaster and Tigress are there for. They're setting it all up for him so he can do it at his own battle station, if you want to call it, in his home. Now, one scene I was like, oh, okay, was when the new JSA saw the dead body, and they're just faces of like, oh, just like staring at it and just like almost in shock. I was expecting one of them to vomit or throw up. I was not going to lie. Thank God that didn't happen, because I'd rather not see that. But I do really like Sportsmaster and Tigress fighting as a couple. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, the new JSA does get owned for the most part in this, this like extended fight scene. But they do get their own punches in here and there, especially Stargirl versus Sportsmaster, and even Hourman against Sportsmaster. But it's a big learning curve, though. I think once, especially Courtney noticing Sportsmaster and Tigress fighting together, I think it's going to be a big thing going forward, is that they need to have actual teamwork and strategy and everything like that, because otherwise every, fight scene or like mission is probably going to go like that. Now, I did love Sportsmaster's like sport-related paraphernalia, so yeah, like the baseballs, the hockey puck, the shuttlecock, just pure golden age goofiness, but awesomeness at the same time. However, when the hockey puck like stuck to the cosmic staff and it flew up in the air and blew up, I thought it actually had like killed the cosmic staff, or at least put it like out of action for a decent amount of time. So I was like, oh, what's going to happen here? So I was actually sort of like, oh, what's going to happen here? But it comes back alive, which is good for Courtney. But of course, one of the coolest scenes in regards to just imagery was when Stripe arrives in this episode. And it's actually the shot from the end of the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover when we saw Earth 2. So you get that cool scene of Stripe walking up and it like descending, and you see the new JSA standing there. That's the new Justice Society of America. And of course, with Stripe arriving, that makes it the end of the date night for Sportsmaster and Tigress. They're out of here. But I did like how Stripe and just proving that Pat can actually do something makes the new Justice Society of America respect him more. Maybe it shouldn't take like some sort of like epic machinery to do that, but I guess they're kids, so visual stuff is always going to do that. But I did laugh at Courtney realizing that the new JSA were treating her the exact same way that she's been treating Pat. So maybe this will change Courtney's attitude towards Pat going forward. You'd hope so. But I did like how Pat gives his sort of approval for the team. I guess there doesn't seem to be too much of a choice, I guess. Like, they've got the equipment, like, it doesn't seem he's going to be getting it back, so I guess he just has to give his approval. But training is needed, so I think Pat's going to be training them. I think we saw that in one of the promo trailers for the show before it came out, so I'm guessing it's next episode or the episode after. But I'm excited to see them all harness their abilities more in depth, and I am actually interested to see Beth harness her abilities more, because she doesn't have any physical abilities, so they're going to have to like work out how she can be a really, really vital member of the team. We do say in this episode in a bit, in the episode for a tiny bit when she uses Chuck to find the extinguisher, but like maybe like an open field, what can Beth do there? You know, if there's not little equipment lying around, so how does Beth play into the team more there? So I'm interested to see how they play that out in the training sequences and in the show as it goes forward. But we did finish the episode off at the Injustice Society's base. Now, they pretty much have everything needed for the for Project New America to go ahead after getting the satellite equipment and the codes and everything like that. However, they do still need Brainwave to complete it. Now, I'm guessing this is because it needs to go into people's heads, what they're doing. So Brainwave can obviously do that. So I'm guessing that's maybe exactly why they need Brainwave. I think episode 9 is called Brainwave. So maybe that's when he comes back into it. Or episode 10. Episode 9 or 10, I think, is called Brainwave. So I'm guessing that's when that will play out more. We'll have to wait and see. However, they are setting out to find out exactly who the new JSA members actually are. And seeing that 2 of the ISA work at Blue Valley High, you know, Principal Bowen and Paula Brooks, who I think is, as I said before, like the PE or gym teacher, I can see them being a big part of all that. So Courtney and the crew better watch their backs and not, you know, be yelling out Stargirl and stuff like Beth was earlier in the episode. Maybe keep that on the down low. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It's not my favorite. It's not like the, you know, top 1 or 2. However, I think it was just sort of like a bridging episode to, and not even a filler, just like it sets up the JSA properly and some other storylines as well. However, it was awesome to see Sportsmaster and Tigress in action, just them working as a couple. And I think Sportsmaster's just a goofy but really cool villain at the same time. I just love seeing all the sports-related paraphernalia and everything like that. I can't wait to see more of it, and I just thought it was cool. And he looks fairly cool as well in the show. But yeah, another good episode, and I can't wait to see what happens next. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your favorite part of the episode and all your various opinions, and just let me know all of that in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.